أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear friends, welcome to Idea Foundation Forum. Today we will discuss revolution of the earth and miracles of the Qur'an. Revolution of the earth around the sun. As the 25th issue under the Qur'an and modern sciences related to astrophysics. In the last lecture, we discussed Quranic revelations and scientific information on various aspects related to rotation or spinning of the earth. The earth also revolves around the sun in almost 365 days. This revolution primarily causes the seasons to happen, climates. Since the advent of Greek philosophy, it was believed that the earth was a static body, stationary body, and the sun revolved around the earth, causing day and night cycle and change of climates. It was the Qur'an that firstly reversed the view of a static earth given by the Greek philosophy, revealing that it rotates on its axis, causing day and night, and also gave a vision that the earth revolves around the sun on its orbit, on its passage. The Qur'an identified the regions of the earth which completely remain exposed to the sun, where neither the usual alternation of day and night takes place for a longer time of the year, nor they are protected like other regions. This Quranic information became precursor of what science could observe in the exposure of the north-south pole to the sun during the Earth's orbital revolution with its 23.5 degree tilt to its axis, a tilt like this. This episode is generally known as summer and winter solstice, winter solstice and summer solstice. Thus, revolution of the earth around the sun determines the seasons, and earthly tilt determines length of days and nights along with the severity of temperature at various latitudes. Latitudes are regions of the earth during its evolution. So, dear friends, we have discussed in the previous lecture that it is rotation of the earth with a 23-degree tilt on its axis that generates magnetic field for protection of tiny earth from the celestial giants, which has been called protected ceiling of the earth in ayat 32 of Surah Al-Anbiya in the words وَجَعَلْنَا السَّمَاءَ سَقْفًا مَحْفُوظًا وَجَعَلْنَا السَّمَاءَ سَقْفًا مَحْفُوظًا, and we made the sky a protected ceiling, protection from the celestial giants, sun, stars, and many others. Thus, the magnetosphere generated by magnetic field and the ozone layer provide atmospheric protection to the earth. Just imagine the system given by the divine order. But this protection is extremely weakened at north and south poles during their respective summers due to depletion of ozone layers as discovered by science recently. Whereas, interestingly, this information was revealed in the Qur'an centuries ago. Surah Al-Kahf tells the story of the expeditions of Hazrat Zulqarnain. Its ayat 90 describes conditions of the area where he reached at the outer edge of the world. Outer edge of the world. Which are outer edge? It is either North Pole or the South Pole. Conditions described in the ayat indicate the area located near the North Pole at summer solstice during the month of June, or the area located near the South Pole at summer solstice during the month of December. Now imagine the vision of Qur'an. During these periods, the sun shines for almost 24 hours, maybe 23 hours, maybe 22 hours, but its apex is near. For a few days, it is about 24 hours without nightly respite, nightly rest, making the plants, animals' life difficult to sustain. Before we proceed to discuss actual conditions prevailing on summer solstice, let us focus on the words of the ayat. Hatta iza balagha matli ash-shamsi wajadaha tatlu ala qaumin lam naj'al lahum min duniha sitran or min duniha sitra. Translation is, until when he reached, who reached? Hazrat Zulqarnain. When he reached the rising place of the sun, from where the sun first appears, he found it rising on a people for whom we, means Allah, had provided no shelter against the sun because of its location and because of ozone, thinly ozone layers. Mind it, this has been revealed 1500 years ago. In the ayat, the Arabic word sitran means covering or protection. Thus, last part of the ayat, lam naj'al lahum min duniha sitran, it means an environment devoid of any shelter or protection against the sun. It is the exceptional situation at north-south poles. Otherwise, the whole earth has been provided with protected ceiling as foretold by the Qur'an and now confirmed by science. What a miraculous information. So dear friends, it is known fact today that ozone layers protect the earth and life on it against harmful ultraviolet solar rays and invasions of other celestial bodies, cosmic bodies. It has also been scientifically proved that the ozone layer renders least protection against solar radiation at the poles, North Pole and South Pole. Research has found a severe thinning of the ozone layer at the North Pole when the sun rises. It has been named sunrise ozone destruction. This ozone loss continues throughout the year. However, its intensity varies during the winter and summer. In the stratosphere above the Arctic or North Pole, about 20 to 25% reduction in ozone contents have been observed during January, March in 6 of the last 9 years. Recent phenomena. These reductions are much smaller than those observed each spring over the Antarctic or the South Pole, which has been experiencing frequent ozone holes over the years. Ozone holes. total, elimination of ozone layers. Reduction in ozone contents varies in two polar regions due to dissimilar weather patterns. Cold temperatures lead to formation of polar stratospheric clouds which cause production of chlorine and bromine, the two chemicals that rapidly destroy the ozones. In recent years, there has been a series of unusually cold winters in the Arctic compared with those in the preceding backward 30 years. Persistently cold conditions have led to enhanced ozone depletion as the atmospheric concentration of ozone depleting gases has also been relatively large during these years. However, cause of the observed changes in meteorological conditions is not yet known. It is unknown like so many other things. So, dear friends, now modern means of communication have enabled us to observe that core of North Pole is devoid of vegetation, no plantation. The area lacks appropriate soil and water for plantation. Moreover, inordinate lengths of days and nights constrain the photosynthesis to happen, without which survival of plant life is not possible. For animals and humans too, the North Pole is inhospitable due to unsheltered, harsh environment. It is almost impossible to build a permanent home here, as the ice remains constantly in motion and shrinks significantly in summers. This volatility. Thus, it is not viable to establish permanent settlement or any sort of community there, especially due to non-availability of potable water, drinking water. Water of nearby Arctic is too salty to be used even for routine needs. Closest human habitat where only a few thousand people live is Longyearbyen, located on Svalbard Islands of Norway, about 1000 kilometers away from the North Pole. These are the conditions. It is mostly covered with snow and it is accessible only through snowmobiles, special vehicles. So, dear friends, besides the ozone depletion, it is also important to know how the temperature at north-south poles becomes so hostile that makes the polar regions inhospitable. As the Qur'an says, we had provided no shelter against the sun. Lam naj'al lahum min duniha sitra. It is for the reason that the sun's rays strike the earth most directly at the equators, while at the poles the rays strike at a steep angle, diagonal. Amount of solar radiation varies with latitude due to the curvature of the earth. Temperature decreases from the equator to the poles. At the equator, it is on higher side, but as you go to the poles, it lessening. As less solar radiation is absorbed per square inch of surface area at higher latitudes than at lower latitudes. Understand? Thus, it determines day length, seasonability, and to a large extent climate, this distance from equator to the poles. more slanted the sun rays are, longer they travel through the atmosphere, getting more scattered and diffused. This is the logic. Since the earth is round, the frigid polar regions never get a high sun. Moreover, due to the tilted axis of rotation of the earth, tilted axis, these areas remain devoid of sunlight during a part of the year and experience continuous sunlight, and during other part of the year it is otherwise. At the North Pole, the sun shines continuously for several days around 21st June, which is called summer solstice. During the same period, the South Pole experiences long dark night, which is called winter solstice, summer solstice and winter solstice. In the third week of December, the positions are reversed at north-south poles altogether. These are reversed. What a miraculous information given by the Qur'an, which was known to science just recently. So dear friends, now after going through the physical conditions at the north-south poles, we need to appreciate the divinely revelations made in Ayat 90 of Surah Al-Kahf, which told about these polar facts centuries ago. In the 7th century, 1500 years ago, the Quran tells about the divinely arrangement for the protection of the earth from celestial giants in Surah Al-Anbiya, which was confirmed by scientific discoveries of magnetosphere and ozone layers. Then the Quran revealed exceptional position of an area devoid of such protection in Surah Al-Kahf. Now just imagine how a man residing in the deserts of Arabia in the 7th century can himself narrate these facts, which could be discovered by science just in the recent past, employing most sophisticated technology. Thus, it evidently establishes divinity of the Quran. So, my dear friends, with this, we conclude our discussion under lecture 273. Please subscribe Idea Foundation YouTube channel to watch videos of previous lectures and join us for the noble cause. Thank you friends for participation and attention. Allah Hafiz.